everyone, it's Daisy for Gephardt Daily, and I am talking today to a good friend of mine, Anne Stewart Mark, who is directing Noises Off at the Grand Theatre, which opens next Thursday, I believe, and goes March 24th through April 16th. And Anne, I was wondering if you could tell me, for those who don't know about Noises Off, how would you describe it?
Noises Off is a marvelous farce written by Michael Frayn. He wrote it in the early 80s, and he has revised it about 3 times, not always for the better to my estimation, but some have said it's the funniest play ever written. That puts a huge onus on a production, but it is one of the best of its genre. So shall we say? It is a play within a play. It is a company of actors who are not terribly brilliant at their craft, although the real actors are, performing a British sex farce, and they're in rehearsal in the first act. And then in the subsequent acts, 2 and 3, things begin to deteriorate because of personalities that get in the way and little tiffs and such and so. So it's a brilliant farce written by Michael Frayn that premiered at the Savoy Theatre in London in, I believe, 1983.
Okay. And you yourself have quite the history with this show, right?
I do. I have directed it one other time for the Grand about 7 years ago, I want to say. And I was an actor for many years, and I have performed in it 5 times.
No, I thought it was 2 times. You've performed in it 5 times?
5 times. For the same director. Playing the same part, playing Belinda. I've probably now graduated to Dottie, but I'm directing it instead.
So from doing it that many times, do you have any sort of hilarious on stage or backstage stories about anything that went? I know there's a lot of like physical comedy. Did anything go terribly wrong, or
no?
Funny
thankfully, this is the hardest piece to perform in that I have ever experienced. And it's because it requires so much focus and concentration and timing. And it, as the acts change and deteriorate between the company with the shenanigans that happen, there's just enough change in the text of the script that if you're not very careful, you don't know where you are. And so it requires little cheating notes in your pocket, stickies on the back of the set, and the set changes. So the first act is inside this converted posset mill, 16th century, so it says, and then the set rotates, and we get to watch the second act from the backside, which is hilarious. And so it's all right to have your little cheaters back there because it's sort of the one of the functions of the play. So I was privileged enough to do it with the brilliant comedian Max Robinson, playing opposite him all 5 times. Other members of the cast changed, but he and I were fortunate enough to do it together. And I learned to be Max Robinson's straight woman very well.
He's amazing.
He's amazing, and I love him to pieces. And he's so brilliant that it was just easy to be his straight woman. But there was a time when I'm supposed to slap him in the original script, which has been changed. That never happened, and I practically cold cocked him one night. I got a little carried away. It was not a stage slap. It was kind of too real.
Did he ad lib anything when you did that?
Oh, he just stood there. He was just like, oh, because I was supposed to slap him to knock him out of a thing he was in, and so he wasn't acting at all. He just was kind of, if he'd have been a cartoon, there'd have been little circles of birdies or tweets going around.
And talk about your cast this time. Are you pretty excited about them?
Yes, they are a lovely, lovely cast. And, they range in age from like mid-20s to 70. Richard Scott, who is the dean of the artists, I don't even know what his official title is at Salt Lake Community College, is playing Selsden. And there's a young woman by the name of Taylor. What's Taylor's last name? I have my notes down here. Taylor Barnes, who plays Vicky / Brooke. Everybody has two names because they are the character that the actors they portray, and then they portray someone else in the play within a play. So I've been referring to everybody as three names, Taylor, Vicky, Brooke.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like, who are you?
Yes. And I also have, the wonderful JJ Neward is playing Dottie. Dave Hansen is playing Lloyd. Nick Dunn is Gary. Michael Johnson, whom I love, is Freddie. Amazing. Alvaro Cortez is Tim, and Anne Louise Briggs is Poppy.
Who is brilliant too.
Yes.
What a cast.
And she joined us late, but you'd never know. She's fabulous.
Do you have a favorite moment in the show?
I have many favorite moments. It's hard to have just one. And of course, to the actors' dismay, I mostly have the entire script memorized, so they know when they make a mistake that I'm taking a note about it. I just love the whole thing. Maybe one of my favorite moments is when Selsden first appears on stage and everyone turns to him and says, "Oh, there he is, standing there like Hamlet's father."
Love it. And talk to me about the Grand Theatre. I was thinking that the Grand, being the size it is like a very good venue for this show. Would you say?
It is. The stage is huge, and the set, as I said, rotates, so they have the ability to put a great big set on that stage, which is great. It's because it's the auditorium is from the original South High. It still is a high school auditorium. I mean, they've upgraded it, and especially the sound and the lights and everything, of course, are top notch. But the seating in the audience is very, very wide, which makes my job a little more difficult when it comes to sight line issues, and they don't anymore sell the balcony, which is kind of unfortunate because it just has to do with capacity and whatnot. And it's hard to have a bad seat in the house, but it makes my job a little harder.
Yeah. Beautiful theatre. For anyone that hasn't been there, it's really worth going to. It's a good theatrical experience, I think.
Yes. And the staff there is wonderful.
And what's the situation with COVID protocols for this one?
Well, everything, I think, in the entire community is relaxed, quite a bit just in the last couple of weeks. They, of course, had a very rough time, as every arts organization did, with cancellation of a couple of pieces and a whole season. And so they have to take their cue from Salt Lake Community College, which suggests masking, but there is no mask mandate countywide anymore, really. We masked as a company for the entire rehearsal process until we were on stage in costume, which we took the masks off because now I can see everybody's face.
Yeah, you're like, oh, you're
I get to act with the whole face, and not just this much.
Yeah. Wow. And then just finally, this seems like it would be a good show for right now, just in terms of joy and comic relief,
and that's why the producer Seth Miller chose it. He chose light pieces for his whole season because he knew coming back that everybody'd had enough doom and gloom. We needed our spirits lifted, and there's nothing more inspiring than sitting in the dark with a group of people watching something funny and just having that lovely laughter release. So he chose the season very particularly, knowing that people were tired of reading pandemic books.
Yeah. And this show is very laugh out loud funny.
Yes.
For sure.
It takes a lot of setup in the first act. The first act isn't quite as ha-ha because there's so much setup, but by the time you get to the second and third acts, you should be having a good time.
Yeah. Where can people go to grab tickets?
thegrandtheater.org.
Okay.
I believe that's right. And their system is all automated. You get a code, you put it in, you can download the little, what do they call the codes on your phone, that you can.
QR code.
Yes, the UR code, or you can print out a ticket at home so you can bring that with you. So it's very easy to do.
And it's March 14th through April 16th.
March 24th.
That's right.
Yes, March 24th through April 16th. And there are matinees on Saturday. So evening curtain is at 7:30 with matinee at 2 on Saturdays, on the 3 Saturdays.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, madam. Anything else that I haven't asked you that you're burning to say about it?
Just come and enjoy it. Just get your ticket, bring a friend. It is rated PG-13. There's one couple of naughty words, but only one really naughty word.
So good for family, good for sort of teens and up.
Teen
maybe.
up, yeah.
Perfect. Amazing. Thank you, madam.
You're welcome. It's so good to see you.
You too. I can't wait to come see it. I don't know why I messed those dates up, but yeah, I love this show. It's so good.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good stuff. I will see you there, I hope.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Bye-bye.